It's time to run it back turbo. What can we really do, my friends? We have the OTHERS-btc chart. It is our guiding star. I hope you do love and appreciate the fact that I love and appreciate you, friends. I mean, I was the one who showed everybody this ratio out here, and I use it very differently than anybody else would use it. There's a lot of things that just pretty much tell us we are destined for greatness, even though it's taking its sweet ass time, isn't it? For example, friends, the OTHERS-btc chart has been going up over time. Now, we all know that is apparently the opposite of down, isn't it? What does up over time mean, friends? It means over time, altcoins are gaining on Bitcoin. Altcoins outside of the top 10 are literally growing on Bitcoin. They are eating into Bitcoin and its network effect storage of value over time. Now, it's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Because then you go, which altcoin? You go, well, that's the bit of the tough part, isn't it? In every cycle, there's a whole new bunch who claim to fame, and then we have the bear market that rinses them out, and you realize, oh crap, it was really a matter of confusing brains for a bull market. Because yeah, sure, the index of coins is gaining on Bitcoin, but not your specific altcoin necessarily. But still, we are waiting for this nice gentle release up into the moon. That's what we're planning to see. So that's why I still maintain that we haven't even started yet, bro. We haven't started. And also, I've got to put a general reminder, friends. On the business cycle chart, which is the manufacturing PMI, which is just a forward leading indicator and a current good read of a business cycle. Something you got to be aware of as well, friends. I've got this nice little passage up here, which shows you the difference between Bitcoin and altcoins. Now, Bitcoin, friends, I'm going to give it an orange. Altcoins are fancy like the rainbow. It's just like, yeah, lolly beans and jelly beans and stuff out here, right? So Bitcoin follows global M2. So it's 89.5% correlated to global M2. Yeah, the liquidity injections over time. Altcoins are different. Altcoins are correlated to the business cycle, okay? So that is the most important part and the most important difference between them. So global M2 happens over time, right? If the business cycle goes down, they can hyper accelerate the global M2. They did it in March 2020, didn't they? The zombie virus, right? When they unleashed the fake bullshit zombie virus against everybody in the world. Do you remember, friends? People went to jail. They got suspended and ostracized in society because they said it came from China and a lab. Oh, well, it turns out it did. It wasn't a bat having sex with a Pokeball and then pooping out some seeds with some dude ate. Oh, wow. Blue pill cucks. You know what I mean, friends? Blue pill cucks. God bless them. I mean, one day they'll take the red pill. I take both pills. Yoink. Now, altcoins following the business cycle. Remember, as I was saying, the business cycle, yes, we can see it right here. There are periods of we're doing great, and then there are periods of it's over. And then we're doing great, and it's over. The business cycle happens over time. And something interesting that we have to know, right, over time is that when we go down, they print money to try to rescue it, as they did in zombie virus right here. But when you're up, okay, there's nothing they can do to stop it from crashing. Nothing. And everything gets rinsed down. The thing is, though, you just don't know how long it'll last. So I guess the benefit of crypto is that we pump so high, but also the downside is with crypto, we always front run the stock market because we don't have DCA Ponzi money coming into our field or anything. Yeah, we don't have institutions that are DCA buying or anything. So crypto is like this hyper reactive thing to global liquidity and stuff stopping. That's ultimately that leads us to where we're going next, right? So they are still printing money. The business cycle hasn't gone up at all. I don't care, friends. I don't care if you're Uncle Bobby and you don't like Donald Trump. I don't give a crap. I don't care what anyone thinks, okay? I don't care, oh, you think it's all over in 2 months. I don't give a shit, all right? I'm sticking to my guns with this. I can see a chart that has never gone above 50, literally, for 30 months. I can see that. I want to see what happens when we do. I'm sure you do as well. That would give us the famous double bubble alt season I'm looking for. And if we have a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance for that, just to give you an idea, friends. Now, a lot of people, you never know, man. We might find, friends, that, you know how Bitcoin dominance went too far on the upside? And Ben Copen's here saying the casino's over. Well, maybe Bitcoin dominance come back down wave 1. Everyone thinks it's over, and then it actually comes back to wave 2. maybe that happens, right? Maybe something like that happens, or even lower than that triangle, by the way. Like it broke the triangle on the upside, why can't it break it on the downside? I mean, like it's pretty, you gotta admit, it's pretty wild. Willy Woo's calling for a 90% Bitcoin dominance. You're about to get mogged, brother. You're about to get drastically mogged. By the way, if anybody knows Willy Woo, Willy, if you're watching this, you're making the wrong decision, bro. I'm warning you as a friend who you don't even know exist, but I'm just sending this message out there in the universe. For the love of God, you are making the wrong decision. Okay, reverse. You're about to get cucked badly and brutally. So if you don't know, friends, I made post video yesterday. Willy Woo has sold all his Bitcoin and he's investing in Bitcoin infrastructure, which is like leverage on Bitcoin. But the problem is it's like the Bitcoin who want to do the altcoin stuff, but only for Bitcoin. And unfortunately, you are in a Bitcoin dominance 4 green years in a row type of environment, which means, man, I'm telling you, man, altcoins are the infrastructure for Bitcoin. Ah, well, it's time to run it back turbo. Look at this Coinfessions Rekt. I had 1 Bitcoin and 10 Ethereum in a do not touch ledger. I was supposed to be generational wealth vault. I swapped the Bitcoin for 14 ETH when the ratio was good. I bought a Mutant Ape Yacht Club NFT with that 14 ETH. I watched it go up to 20 and then back to 2.2 ETH. Okay, so pretty much if you get to see, so when did he swap it? He swapped it at ETH-BTC 0.07. So I just calculated it there for you. Let's actually go and check out my very non-racist, half-racist type of chart. When did he rotate it in? Around here. So there you go. He rotated at 0.071. There you go. He rotated around there. Yeah. So he's basically, yeah, man. This is just these fucking Ethereum. You got to take it back, bro. Look what he says. My one Bitcoin is now 45 ETH. So it's another way to say, oh, I used to only need 14 Ethereum to buy a Bitcoin. Now I need 45 Ethereum to buy a Bitcoin. That's what he's saying. I swapped the 10 ETH from a ledger into a private sales, which are now down 90%. At least I still have that ugly JPEG to stare at. Jesus. So, yeah, man. A lot of us go through that pain, bro. We're all in that same position. Look. Do you see, though, the final kicker where they went wrong? The private sales. Yeah. Private sales are ICOs. And I have kindly told you in one of my 5,000 videos of the highest value content in crypto, which is not even close. You're very, very welcome. ICOs and launchpads, friends, are now in cycle 3. Yeah. They were cycle 1 in 2017. It was free money unicorn. That's why every ICO did a 100x in crypto. Literally every ICO in 2017. Okay. But you didn't know what to look for, and I didn't even know there was an industry. Okay. In 2021, it was cycle 2 from them. You didn't get 100x anymore. You got about an average 8 to 14x across the whole pile, which is like still garbage compared to cycle 1, but you know, compared to what it is now, is amazing. Now, what we're seeing is it's just third cycle curse for launchpads. We're in cycle number 3. Friends, I've gotten destroyed. Like every single ICO we've done together, we've just been brutally wrecked. Brutal. We are down 95% from the ICO price, which is meant to be the base floor. Brutally crushed because of the business cycle. That's why. The business cycle, we thought it was going to stay down for 15 months max. It's gone on for 30 months. So, yeah, man, it was meant to reverse 15 months ago, friends. It was meant to be like kicking up by last year, January, February, around the Bitcoin spot ETF. Around that approval, but it didn't, man. So it is what it is. But hey, at least the government kept printing money, right? Global liquidity, it kept Bitcoin up. So yeah, man, I really do make the highest value content here, crypto here for you, friends. So you got to remember, third cycle curses, got to be careful. What's going to be in the third cycle curse next cycle? Binance, BNB is going to be in the third cycle curse. Many things. DeFi, the whole sector is going to be in the third cycle curse. Yeah, a lot of things going to be in their third cycle in 2028, 2029. So this one's going to be the big one. Going to be the big one, and you don't need to worry about it. It's the new people who aren't listening to us. They're the ones who got to worry about it, because those people, they're going to come in and say, "Yeah, that's the future of finance. Donald Trump's in, can't go down. I trust the guy." The government is banning themselves from owning stocks. They're removing corruption. You know what I mean? Oh, you know, I know Bitcoin's $268,000 right now, but Michael Chad Saylor said it's going to 13 million. You know, that's. You know, when we get, and Ty Lopez is in here, right? I mean, he's always trendy. Okay, that's going to be a different environment. I also want to share this story, friends. I learned, so this guy is Tony from JRNY Crypto, JRNY, JRNY Crypto. So Tony, I learned this story, man. It's a bit tough. So Tony, friends, was kidnapped at gunpoint in Las Vegas for his crypto. Okay, so these are the 3 kidnappers, 3 teenage scum. Man, very, very evil. Man, capital punishment for them. Why are they even alive? Just skin them alive. Literally, just skin the kids alive. 3 teenagers drove him to a desert. So they kidnapped him. He was in Las Vegas. He was hosting a crypto conference. They drove him to the desert and they pointed a gun to his head. Had his phone there, and they made him hand over $4 million in crypto and NFTs. Probably wondering, like, hey, how did he have that? Well, so they got him there, right? You know, because they're hosting him. So, man, no one deserves that, friends. I know there's accusations of some pumper dumping, shitting stuff, but just, yeah. Many attacks in crypto, just remind you, just be careful of your security, okay? There's people get brutally stabbed, beaten. Scammers, if you scam people, the wrong person gets you. I mean, you're the wrong person, by the way, so you're a scammer. You know what I mean? But usually that doesn't end up well at all. Someone eventually catches up with the scammers. Okay, but also people who are innocent, often they'll get attacked. And I'm just gonna be honest, friends. Shout out to all my spaghetti eating baby dolls in France. For some reason, the nation of France, like 50% of their beatings and violent kidnaps happen in France. And I'm not joking. I'm just going to be honest. Every time it was an immigrant. It's always a balaclava immigrant. They're not even from France, or maybe they are now. I don't know. I'm just telling you, you go read the stories. And like whenever you read them, you always see like crypto, you know, memeing jokester in the comments. They're like, okay, number 1 rule, not going to France on my holiday. That's like every single one. It's literally always France, immigrant in France, kidnapping people. But it's not just there. It's all around the world, of course. It's just any country you're prone. There's wrench attacks, there's violent stabbings. I mean, this was in Las Vegas as well. So that was just striking to me. I don't know why. Why is it France? It's just, you know. But some backstory as well, friends. So Tony, I think he bought about 100 of the Bored Apes. Yeah, 100 of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the monkey JPEGs, but he bought them at like the launch. He just randomly got them. Now, if you know, right, you're like, wait, Sommi, let's go check out that reward of a trade. Okay, my gosh. So, friends, they were worth at the top $400,000 each. And he bought each one for like $100. They started at $125 each. I think he just bought 100, you know, put like 10 grand in. Man, that's wild, bro. Put 10 grand in. Yeah, so if you do that, it was worth 40 million at the top. And actually, it's worth more than that because he got an airdrop. So technically, it's worth 60 million. I don't think he sold all of it. I don't think he bought 50 to 100 or something. So I think that's why. I think there might be other stuff out here that pretty much got leaked. Also, shout out to my friend, baby doll, Mr. Peerless, D. Edwards. Yes, so friends, you can solve these issues. So you're probably wondering, hey, because unfortunately, like, you know, crypto is so versatile and liquid, the security is very, very tough. You know, so a scammer can come in, just scam you, rob you, you leave your keys somewhere. Like, friends, there was somebody, I think, in the PulseChain community, they thought their ledger got hacked. No, they hosted, I forgot what this gentle lady is, but do you remember, friends, like a year or two ago, this gentle lady, I think she must have hosted like Christmas or something at hers. And one of the like little scum, maybe her nieces or nephews, probably some little boy kid, I think went snooping around in her room and then found the key, took the key and took all the money. And she lost like, you know, 120 grand or something, or 80 grand, just took all of it. So I think it was a family event. I think it was a PulseChain community. But yeah, just giving you an idea of stuff that happened. And we all thought, oh crap, ledger's hacked. Every time this happens, we're always like, oh crap, the hardware wallets, everything's gonna hack. It's not, it's literally it's a social engineering thing, man. So yeah, friends, security. Now, crypto can actually help this over time because we can do multi-sigs now. So like, you can literally put your, a law firm or something as like the other multi-sig. A law firm or just or another entity as a multi-sig, and a lot of people do that. So like Your signature for your wallet is not enough. It literally can't do anything. To do any action from it is the other signature. So crypto does actually have solutions out here, but yeah, these are very unfortunate, right? So I'm just probably giving you a warning. If you make, I hope you do make great wealth, friends. Some of you out here, you're in second or third world countries. You obviously know better than everybody else. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't flash stuff. Just be careful, okay? Just be careful. And as well, like, let's be honest as well. Like, we worry about this security stuff, but like, I'll be honest. In 1,000 cases of people getting wrecked, one was a security breach, right? Do you know what the other 999 were? That person was their own worst enemy. I'll just be completely honest. Yeah, so on the balance of probabilities, like, yeah, get the security. Yeah, that is that, right? But on the other 999 out of 1,000 cases, what you should try to do is, I don't know, it sounds boomerish, but you consider real estate. Yeah, just consider hedging yourself, okay? You have to leave the nut job stuff for like freaks like me who eat 18 hours a day. Most people, you just shouldn't, man. Like, it just secure yourself financially if you can. See, real estate's the best because the stocks, you can just go dump it, withdraw money out, and then go buy a Ponzi and lose it in 2 seconds. At least with real estate, it's illiquid. It's like, it's like the perfect store of value. It's slow, hard to touch. People can live in it and give you yield. And then if you really need to, you can borrow on it. Like, if you really need to, you know, like some of you might live in a country where a house is like, you know, 150,000, you know, and maybe the bottom of the next bear market, you know, maybe you get to put, I'm not saying borrow a lot, but, you know, maybe you want to borrow like, you know, just 20,000 on it. And you want to buy Ethereum in the bottom of the next bear or Bitcoin. You know, you can have some flexibility like that. But like I said, most people, like, there's a gentle friend. I hope you still watch out here. I know I'm just very, very mindful of like reiterating the story, but we have baby dolls in the community where back here, you know, they had Bitcoin, might have had like 10 to 12 Bitcoin. It comes down here, and because they're watching like Gareth Solo Gay, a lot of the other gay bears who were saying like everything's going down, it's all over, it's all over. So they'd come out here, they'd sell their Bitcoin on the exchange, they start trading. Now they have nothing. You know, that's another common thing how everyone gets wrecked, right? So that's why, friends, I'm like the first person I actually heard in crypto. Well, I'll be like actually forcefully telling people, look, man, you're gonna sell. You're going to go put it in your bank account right now. Yeah, you're going to that shitty fiat system and you're going to leave money for the tax man. Okay, you're actually going to put it there because it's going to teach you just to hold it because you need something out there, right? Because crypto is just too unpredictable, bro. So we do have this adult conversation. On the other hand, don't stop believing whilst wearing a pDAI hat and just licking my lips and looking up into the sky. Look at that. I wonder what it would feel like at pDAI 1 cent. Very interesting turn of events, aren't they, friends? And on a quick note on that message, as I've been covering all throughout the day, the PulseChain price has got nothing to do for the day, friends. So I'll change it to the 7-day chart. Yay, 7-day looks more green. Remember, that's the website pulsecoinlist.com, and then you go to the stats section, stats, and then you can activate Sommi mode if you want. Clicky, clicky. You can also do Richard Hart meme mode, which is showing you most Rippy and Trump. Sorry, I almost said most Ricky. So I said Pumpin' Ricky. I call it Rippy. That's awesome. So Ricky, a shout out to Benny Blanco and everyone out here. Yeah, you know, we're all bonded to Pulse. So what is it? Anyway, we all know the same story, right? Waiting for PulseChain. Bro, how long are we going to be in this channel for? Are we ever going to get out? Of course we're going to get out. One day, 1 year, 1 decade. We'll be out. We'll be out, friends. It'll be glorious. It'll be glorious. We'll be playing the Enya Gladiator music at the very end when he's walking through the field. You know that field music, friends. You know, the Gladiator Ending movie, of course. It gives me goosebumps. This one, friends. Here's your wife and your son saying, thank you, Papa. Thank you, Papa, for buying the right stablecoin, Papa. Here she is watching you. Thank you, Papa. Papa. There we are. There we are. See? You didn't raise no Tether USD trash holding son, did you? No, you didn't. Okay. The world is watching, friends. Speaking on that, here's pDAI. More risky stuff, more risky business. We need to get to 0.005. That erases all the Maria stuff out here. Just some general comments as well. Vietnamese Kid, totally gone. Where's Caddy? Don't know. Probably sipping cocktails somewhere. I don't know. We're just like due for a new narrative and a story. Like I'm personally waiting for like a 9-9 capital thread to see some stuff in the background. I don't really know. But check this out, friends. This is my friend Arthur Gaze. Remember Arthur made BitMEX. If you see a perpetual swap out here, he made it. It was the first one to make the perpetual swap, the Contro contract, where it's a like infinite rollover. Is a multi-billionaire from it. Okay, so Arthur, friends, accidentally makes a bull case for pDAI, which is just you would listen to it, you're like, oh my gosh, my friend Sommi has been talking about this already.
Because they're not they don't have the physical devices with which to affect the payments.
You've made a couple pennies by simply thinking about ways to put on different opinions that you have as trades. If a view that you hold is that stablecoins will be much bigger in the future than they are today, what would be your preferred way to invest along that thesis? Right? If you think Bitcoin's going to be bigger, you just buy Bitcoin. What do you do in stablecoins?
Right. What do you do with stablecoins? I mean, buy Athena, right? That's a token. Come on, man. That was too easy.
All right, come on. You can't say the thing that you're doing. Go ahead. Next
I mean, the problem is that like, okay, Tether is the best example. Agreed. It's not a publicly traded thing. I can't buy it. It's not, There's no token. Can't buy it. Right. They keep 100% of the net interest margin because they've built out this massive network. So it's uninvestable. Mm-hmm. It's great for, the owners, but, for us, other people cannot. Then you have Circle, right? Suppose they're going to do this IPO. That's a shitty business too, because their distribution arm is Brian Armstrong at Coinbase. And Brian Armstrong is not going to let Circle make all the money. He's going to take all the money. And they already take, 50 to 75% of their net interest margin? Terrible business is what Circle has. So then you have all these other people who say, I'm going to list a stable coin. And it's usually a bunch of Americans who want to target America. And America's got, it's not the best, but Americans have dollars natively. So then they have Zelle and Cash App and, pick your fucking whatever. They don't need a digital version.
They got it. Yeah.
They don't need, they'll use a digital version of cool, but like, is this going to be the next $10 billion fintech company? No. So I think it's just table stakes for existing financial institutions who further entrench their moat. But I'm not really sure that a lot of these other startups who, they're going to have to spend so much money to acquire a client in a super saturated market where you're not 10x better versus Venmo or Zelle or PayPal, right? Maybe you're like 1.5x better. It's just not enough to get a client to switch for a price that you can afford with the capital that you have raised. So I just don't see stablecoins as very investable in the ways in which I see people going to it, which is a US company trying to bring stablecoins to Americans. Now, it's different if you're saying I'm going to try to go after Tether. Again, I think that's a losing proposition, but at least you have a global client base who wants dollar banking, who is willing to pay for it.
Very interesting, right? Very interesting. That's why if you want to invest in the stablecoin narrative, that's why it's a first cycle unicorn. We don't have all these things to invest in. Okay, so if you want to invest in a first cycle in the stablecoin narrative, you have MakerDAO's MKR. It's a governance token. Proxy, it's third cycle now. Poop, right? Yeah, pretty much. Maybe it's just poop, right? It's MakerDAO, MKR. All right. You have that. So you have, I guess, the new coin. You have his Athena as well. But what do they do, friends? Remember, they give you yield because they loan out money to all the exchanges for their longs and shorts. So, and then who's paying the yield? All the losing traders and the winning traders. Yeah, so to people, if the funding rate is like negative or positive, right, maybe there's like, it's compounding rate, and obviously it fluctuates. So that's how they get it. That's why a lot of people were scared. They're like, crap, how are you giving out like 12% yield on USD? Well, it's because the short-term funding rate on everybody doing the perp swaps, they're paying that much because they're like, it's super volatile, or there's like, the market, they're expecting a big market move because they're all short-term trading, right? So they're not holding it for a whole year. They're only holding it for like, a week or something, or a few days to trade. So, but there's a lot of demand. So You have MKR, you have Athena. You can't, what can you do? If you want, you can buy XRP. But it's XRP, think about it. Blockchain Backer's been in it for 6 years. He's getting out at $9. That's a 250% gain from me. That's a 3.5x. So, and that's Ripple USD, which is dog shit as well. You know, so what can you do? You literally don't have any options. That's why if this stupid coin that Richard Hart may or may not have tweeted about 33 times, if this has anything to do with it, it's a home run. Okay, if it does. I don't know. Remember, already went to zero. Okay, isn't it funny? I said, look, no crying in the casino. This thing can go to zero. Well, newsflash, it actually did go to zero. That wasn't fun. Oh man, that was not fun. It actually did go to zero. So yeah, man, that's why if this narrative stablecoin super cycle, what can you do, man? You can't do anything. You can't punt on anything else. But that's why, friends, like, it's just like it's first cycle unicorn stuff for Bitcoin. Okay, the world, they're printing money. What can you do? Well, you can buy gold. Yeah, gold's been around forever. It's got a long-term growth rate of 8%. Maybe have a spike up, or you can buy this Bitcoin digital gold. There's no competition when Bitcoin first comes out, right? But it's similar like this. Like, you don't want 50,000 things to choose from, you know? That's why I saw someone saying like, oh, I want to participate in stable coins. What do I do? Like, no, silly Willy, no. It's not about what do I do. Actually, good question are you asking it. It's like, I'm looking around, friends, with my Mog glasses. Shout out to Mr. Wolfie. I'm looking around, okay, and I'm like looking at this field of just empty people. It's empty land. There's no one here. And I'm like, oh, wow. No one is going to capitalize on this. Literally no one. Okay, anywhere near to the extent of anything else. Kind of like, oh, I want to get into DEXs. Yeah, just join the queue, man. There's like literally 58 DEXs. You know what I mean? So it's first cycle. That's why. I'm not saying these things are the be all and end all. I'm just saying they're first cycle. If this thing succeeds, yeah, next cycle, trust me, you have a lot of options. Okay? But do you want to touch them next cycle? So dangerous as well. So that's something to think about, friends. Don't forget who loves you. Like and subscribe. Catch you soon.